Hey there, Hungry Monk Music students and fans. A little guitar tutorial today, this on the Blues Shuffle, if we can call it that. You just saw what I just played there. This is used quite a bit, not just in blues, but in a lot of rock and roll. It's actually a really good technique for use in a lot of different kinds of music. And I'm going to talk about sort of the basic ideas of it as it relates to an acoustic guitar and just doing an easy thing. I just followed a 12-bar blues form, and that's what we'll talk about mostly. So this starts with basically a power chord. I'm going to play an A power chord, which means I've got my open A, 5th string, open, and my first finger on the 4th string of the 2nd fret, that's an E. So the A and the E is the root and the 5th of the A chord, that is the power chord, or a basic bare bones idea of what A could be. The shuffle comes in with my other finger. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add to that my 3rd finger at the 4th fret on the 4th string, the D string. Now that's a bit of a stretch, but it can be done. That's the 6th of the chord, if you will. If you start with that basic power chord, the 5th there with your 1st finger, add that 6th, and then take it away, you get a real classic sound. Now, there's a million different grooves and kinds of rhythms that you can do. I'm going to do a real basic idea, which is basically 2 beats on each one. So it starts with just the 1st finger, and then adds the 3rd finger, and then comes back. With the right hand, it's important, I'm only playing 2 strings. I'm playing the A string, the open A string, and the D string, where my 1st finger is. Just 2 strings. One thing that I tend to do a little bit, just to make sure that that's the only 2 strings you can hear, is I'm kind of leaning my 1st finger into that 3rd string so that it doesn't really make any, at least doesn't make a pitch. So if I do happen to hit that string, you don't hear another note. Now, as much control as that takes with the left hand over here to add that finger in the right place, it really takes a lot of right hand pick control as well. You really got to stick to just those 2 strings. You don't want to accidentally hit the low E string, that really muddies things up. You don't want to hit all the strings, that's not right. Just the 2 strings. Now that's an A, because I've got the open A and the 5th of A. I could take my 1st finger and move it to the 3rd string. Now I've got an open D string and the 5th of that chord, which is A, on the 3rd string. And now I can do the same thing here. Again, being very careful with my pick to only play 2 strings, the 4th string and the 3rd string, the open D and the fingered A to B. That same idea, taking advantage of open strings again, I have an open E string. I can put my 1st finger at the 2nd fret of the A string. Now I play the bottom 2 strings. Now, it just so happens that with the A power chord, the D power chord, and the E power chord, I can play a blues in A. I've got the 3 chords I need for blues in A, D, and E. There's other ways to do this kind of shuffle with other kind of fingering things, but this is the easiest way to take advantage of open strings on the guitar. So, an easy way to get through a 12-bar blues in the key of A is to start with the A power chord for 4 measures. 3, 4, to the D chord, that's a bit of a stretch over here with the left hand, it's pretty basic, you're just holding on to one note. Over here, paying attention to making sure you're only playing the 2 strings, that could be the harder part of this whole thing. That was kind of a very slow kind of groove. You could play something faster. You could play something much, much slower. Lots of different grooves, lots of different ideas for what to do with that. If you want to make it a little more complicated, if that's worked out for you and you can stretch that 3rd finger, you can get the pinky involved too. A lot of people don't like to use their pinky. This is a good pinky exercise. Start with the power chord, add the 3rd finger, add the pinky 1 fret higher. That's the 7, the flat 7 of the chord. 5th, 6th, flat 7. So what I'm doing, again, twice, 2 strums on each of these things. 2 on the power chord, add the 6th, back to the power chord, 7th, back to the power chord. Go to the D chord and do the same thing. Go to the E chord and do the same thing. Again, I can get the 12-bar blues pattern going with this idea. It takes a little more work on the hand. It's hard to get that pinky going all the time. It's a good exercise. Even if you don't work this into your playing, it's a great way to get your pinky working out and getting some flexibility there. Another thing that's that you can do to add some more interest to this little thing, once you've got this whole deal going, and you should take your time, really get it good, we can add a couple more notes to this little mix that make things a little bit interesting. Specifically, if I've got that A power chord, right, on the A string, I'm going to put my 2nd finger on the 3rd fret, my 3rd finger on the 4th fret, and then back to the power chord. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Comes at the end of the 2nd measure. Go to the D chord, same thing. nice little added extra thing. What you're doing there is with that A power chord, you're playing the flat 3, the flat third, to the natural third, to the power chord, which is the root and the 5th. It's a very basic kind of blues. It's a great lick just in general. Nice thing to have under your fingers for any of those chords. So that's some added little notes there. Again, it just depends on the groove that you're doing. If there's time to do that, sometimes there's just not even time enough to get those little notes in there. It's all about the rhythm. It's all about sort of keeping the rhythm going. And it's a hard thing to tell you exactly what to do. In fact, when I was just counting it there, it wasn't exactly accurate with the count. There's some syncopation going on, but you got to kind of get the feel of it. One of the best things you can do is listen to some blues music, some rock, blues rock kind of stuff. Boy, listen to, Zeppelin, Eric Clapton, any blues player, you're going to hear that kind of stuff quite a bit. Now, if you want to, I said that all you need is one finger to hold down that power chord. If you are so inclined, you could use that finger to do one more note as well. The A, the E, and a third string, which is also A. So still just 2 notes, A and E. So now you're playing 3 strings over here. The tricky part about that is the E works the same way. So you're kind of putting a little bar down there with your first finger. Go to the D chord, right? Moves to the D. You can no longer just do that. That won't work. You've got to add the second finger on that D note. I must say that's kind of an extra added thing to get that extra note in there. You don't really need it. Another thing that I do sometimes, just because that's kind of a big stretch, particularly down at this end of the guitar, I'll frequently use my pinky so I can get those other fingers out of the way. Even when I'm adding that pinky note, that's a real workout with a pinky. I sometimes find that I'd rather use my pinky rather than stretch with my third finger. I have a fairly strong pinky, so I seem to be able to do that. So that's the blues shuffle. And you work on that, you'll be able to add that to any kind of rock and roll tune, blues tune. Comes in handy with a lot of stuff. So work real hard, get your pinky real worked out, and we'll be on to something new next time. Everybody be well. See you later.